False utilitarianism. Definition: the application of utilitarianism without the omnipresence of sow and reap. Explanation: every person must have an equated basis to equally sow and reap for utilitarianism to be truly valid. Otherwise, its moral benefits become negated as the basis of what is good, and who the many are, is skewed. The concept of greater good does not guarantee the higher, more refined principle of equal share. The lower tiers often receive very little of the so-called common good. Yet, they are frequently the ones most impacted. In addition, they often do not get to equally sow and reap, and consequently do not have as much resources, thus further negating any claims of mutual benefits. True utilitarianism is rarely achieved. This exemplifies how faulty the concept of suits and systems is, especially for formal systems. False utilitarianism is a major reason why formal systems are inefficient in achieving equality. Earnest declarations to serve the people for a greater good do exist. However, accurately accounting for the voice of the people first requires the implementation of omnipresence of sow and reap. This must be applied at a root foundational level, with built-in safeguards and checkpoints. Problems: error inheritance. Perpetual inequality. The benefits received by the faithful within the crowd are often not proportional or equivalent to their loyal contributions and/or sacrifices. The higher up you are in the socio-economic architecture, the less likely your livelihood will be impacted. While this is beneficial for those of a higher class, it is not equal for the lower classes. It's commonplace for the lower tiers of society to harbor resentment for lack of proper representation and ill treatment stemming from the poorly designed, unequal foundations of the socio-economic structures, which, currently are not conducive to foundational equality. Conversely, inequalities are built into the interweavings of societal networks. Hence, unequal loopholes are commonplace. The lower tiers have little or no say, and usually cannot avoid the impact or cost deemed necessary to preserve the greater good. However, the upper classes usually can avoid the impact, or simply have the resources to absorb its costs. Essentially, the skill of avoiding penalties determines who will be impacted when it's time to make cuts. Needless to say, the practice of avoidance is not utilitarianism. It's evident there are people of questionable morals willing to capitalize on loopholes such as this. As per this case, utilitarianism is ineffective. It cannot be deemed good if some of the people do not have access to equality. Without the safeguard of omnipresence of sow and reap, utilitarianism is vulnerable to exploitation. The complaints and livelihood of the lower tiers of society speaks volumes. Causes: poorly designed, unequal socio-economic structures. Loopholes that are silently exploited. Therefore, the errors of inequality are perpetuated in hard-to-control ways. Effects: unfulfilled nostalgic claims of living in an equal society, yet there are people who receive little or no equal benefits from it. The civilian populace, especially the lower tiers, often places accrued blame upon the formal systems. Based upon the precedents of hundreds of years of governance, formal systems rarely, truly solve the issues at a root level. There are avoidable errors in its fundamental design that negates equality, such as false utilitarianism. Therefore, false claims of the greater good is a calculable recurrence without the omnipresence of sow and reap. Solutions: apply the omnipresence of sow and reap. Any attempts of utilitarianism should include guarantor clauses such as omnipresence of sow and reap. This is a much more accurate implementation of utilitarianism, as it significantly reduces inequalities from transpiring. Consider making the cost or sacrifice on the basis of percentages or impact of livelihood. If both the upper and lower classes are in agreement of this, there is a true basis for utilitarianism to be effective. Cross-reference: omnipresence of sow and reap, rule of sow and reap, error inheritance.